I hate to break this to you, but this is not a Toy Story convention.
Right, you've got to help me. I'm undergoing a crisis here.
This situation seems vaguely familiar. Never mind, this is worse than I thought.
Ever since I got this game, everything's been affected. I can't even run through doors normally anymore.
I mean, come on. I'm sure it can't be that bad. I mean, come on.
I told you this would happen. This is beat the game or else. Do you know what that means?
Oh, that's it? Oh, what a relief. I'm sure the game can't be that bad. Oh boy, I love trauma!
Sonic is one of the most beloved characters in the video game industry. Most of the games in the franchise were met with positive reviews during his early years. The hype among fans skyrocketed when Sega, the company behind the Sonic games, announced Sonic the Hedgehog was to release on November 14th, 2006 in North America for his 15th anniversary. It was put onto Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 consoles and became one of the most disappointing releases in the Sonic franchise. The game, later dubbed Sonic 06, faced scrutiny upon its debut due to the lack of polish. Many players encountered bugs that hindered the experience, such as losing lives in unfair ways, getting soft-locked with no escape, and a plethora of other glitches. Though Sega let down its casual player base, they inadvertently created one of the coolest speed games of all time. The broken physics and the abundance of glitches made the game a diamond in the rough among the growing speedrun community. The Xbox version quickly became the most popular version for runners, and little did they know that they were going to exceed limits beyond their own understanding. This is the chaotic speedrun history of Sonic 06. Sonic speedrunning in its entirety came along well before the release of 06. In 2003, a user named Rolkin created the Sonic Center, the first website that grouped all of the Sonic games into one place. Each game had its own leaderboards of individual level runs that players could submit times for. When a new Sonic game came out, it was added to the website. This was the case for Sonic 06, which garnered a small player base shortly after it was added. One of the people that started submitting their runs to the website was named the one and only Sonic, better known as DSS, Darkspine Sonic. No one knew it yet, but DSS was going to become one of the most influential figures in the entire Sonic community. On March 11th, 2007, he made his first speedrun discovery in Sonic 06. The entirety of 06 takes place around the main hub world called Soleanna. This location is connected to almost all the levels the player visits throughout the story. As the game progresses, Sonic is required to go to the shop in Soleanna for certain missions. Multiple gems are available for purchase that each grant Sonic a new ability. One of the easiest gems to exploit is the Sky Gem. When thrown, the gem gravitates Sonic toward wherever it lands. This is particularly helpful against the final boss fight, but not in the way anyone expected. At the end of Sonic's story, the player must take down the final boss against the Egg Wyvern. To defeat him, Sonic has to wait for openings in Eggman's attacks to slowly damage him. This fight takes about 5 to 6 minutes to complete on average. That was until DSS uploaded his first YouTube video of him completing the fight in 50 seconds. A 6-minute fight reduced to a sixth of the regular time, but how? Around 25 seconds into the fight, Eggman always charges towards Sonic. Knowing this, DSS waits for Eggman to charge and then pulls out the Sky Gem and throws it to the side. In one fluid motion, DSS performs a homing attack on the horn, and once the gem lands, he is forced off Eggman and lands back on the platform. At first, it doesn't seem like this had an effect on the fight at all. That is, until another 20 seconds pass and this happens. the fight ends out of nowhere. It was unclear as to why these specific inputs forced the fight to end so abruptly. Regardless, DSS discovered the first official speedrun skip in Sonic 06 and saved a ton of time in the process. This video was shared in a Sonic 06 forum on Speed Demo's archive a few months after his finding and baffled all the other players. Paused was the user that started the conversation surrounding the Sonic story speedrun and claimed to have achieved a time of 1 hour and 40 minutes. Another user named Peroxide, who nowadays goes by the name Aruki, shared their thoughts and strategies with Paused. The Egg Wyvern strategy was just the beginning for DSS as he continued to post more of his findings in other parts of the internet. He shared fast completion times of the first level, Wave Ocean, where he used Tails' flying ability to skip a large chunk of platforming. In November 2007, DSS uploaded the first 2 parts of his segmented speedrun for Sonic 06. Though he only got through the first few levels, some of DSS's strategies were now being shown for the first time. In the following years, DSS dispersed his attention toward other Sonic games on his channel. As less glitch hunting occurred, the only attention given to Sonic 06 was through harsh reviews from players and critics alike. The game was seen as a laughingstock, and on the surface, it wasn't hard to see why. DSS seemed like the only person who was truly curious about the game's mechanics. Luckily for him, his dedication didn't go unnoticed. On June 12, 2012, Venick uploaded the first full speedrun of Sonic's story onto YouTube. The credit for most of the glitches and strategies used goes to DSS, and his discoveries paved the way for Venick to get his time. He did the same Tails strategy in Wave Ocean and had similar movement in Dusty Desert. Outside of those tricks, DSS also found Laser Skip in White Acropolis, which skips nearly half of the level. Other highlights include speeding up the Iblis fight. In casual gameplay, Sonic is supposed to hit the floating purple rocks to trigger Iblis to come closer. However, they can only normally be reached when enough platforms fall into place to give Sonic a clear path. But Venick doesn't have time for that. Instead, he uses invincibility frames to walk on the lava and homing attacks the purple rock early. He does this for 3 of the 4 phases and saves a good chunk of time in the fight. A couple levels later in Tropical Jungle, Venick clips through the inside of this log by sliding and falls all the way down to the last ramp before the loading screen. He needs to be careful because there's a death plane he has to avoid on the way down. Otherwise, this clip saves about 10 seconds. Other skips by DSS include Silver Skip in Kingdom Valley. In the second part of the level, the player gets their first chance to play as Silver the Hedgehog. This area shows off Silver's abilities for the first time to help accustom players to his moveset, and Venick skips him entirely. In the beginning of this section, Sonic comes in hanging on an eagle that takes him to the platform below. But if Sonic jumps off immediately and attacks toward the right spot, he will land on a lip in the wall. By platforming on the rest of the small spaces and jumping into the Sonic trigger at the end, Silver's entire area is skipped, saving 20 seconds. Just before the final level, Venick purchases the Sky Gem and uses it to get to each of the bells around Soleanna faster. This is necessary to unlock Aquatic Base. Speaking of which, Venick uses the Sky Gem to clip through a multitude of doors. The run ends with the Egg Wyvern strategy, and Venick gets a time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 59 seconds. There were multiple mistakes in the run, such as a few unfortunate deaths and non-optimal movement in some spots. Skips previously discovered by DSS were also unused in Venick's run, hence why he came back 2 months later and beat his first record by over 5 minutes. In Soleanna, Venick clipped inside of this building by performing a homing attack just before landing on the ground. This allows him to get inside this hidden room and onto the rooftop early. To get there in a normal playthrough, Sonic purchases the anti-gravity ability from the store so that he can slide under this crevasse in the wall. With this skip in place, the ability is not necessary until later in the run. Towards the end of the 5th main level, called Flame Core, the player gets their first chance to play as Knuckles. Knuckles' unique moveset grants him the ability to climb on walls and the ability to glide. When Venick gets to Knuckles' section, he climbs on the wall near the cave entrance until he hits the ceiling. From here, he jumps and clips inside of the ceiling and swerves left to avoid an invisible death plane. Once he's past that, Venick glides directly toward the goal ring, saving 20 seconds. In the Wave Ocean revisit, visit as Tails, Venick aligns him to the edge of this boost panel and skips going inside the loop. Consequently, Tails' high speed combined with his ability to fly carries him all the way over to the pier and skips a large chunk of the stage. In the final 15 minutes, he used the Sky Gem to skip a lot more areas. This was a solid run. Venick chose to move on with his speedrunning career following his 06 speedruns and focused his energy toward the Zelda series. But Venick's time would not be the last record set that year. That honor belongs to a rookie. Sadly, the videos of their runs no longer exist, but the impact they had on the early stages of speedrunning cannot be understated. They became one of the first speedrunners to stream their activities on Twitch, a relatively new live streaming site. A rookie set a new record in 06 not just once, not twice, but 4 times. Though the videos are now gone, many runners claim to have seen them before they were taken down. Aruki left a short but impactful legacy. The next new record didn't occur until after the founding of Speedrun.com.
Dang it! I can't get past this well-programmed boss.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Man, if only we had extra batteries.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Wait, if this game affects me in real life, that probably means I can go super fast, right?
I am incredibly scared right now. You know, I've heard there's a shady person down the road that sells illegal copies of Toy Story, but also sells batteries on the side.
Alright, it's time to go fast.
Good thing he's getting batteries. The only thing that can make this worse is if he got a game over and didn't save.
Well, that's terrible.
For over a year, Sonic 06 remained untouched among speedrunners. Then, a familiar face reappeared once again. For the last 7 years, he became a champion among the Sonic community. In 2014, Darkspine Sonic returned to the 06 speedrunning scene stronger than ever. In February that year, DSS showcased Sonic 06 at the charity event Awesome Games Done Quick. He featured the Broken Percent speedrun, where as the title implies, the game gets completely broken.
Now, I'm still holding on to the X button right now because I need to talk to a townsperson that's going to do a storyline mission. Since it can't decide where I'm at in the actual story, it's going to place me at a certain point after I finish it. Well, what do you know? I just beat Sonic Stories.
In just 15 minutes, DSS made it to the credits of Sonic's story by using a trick called Mission Select Glitch, also known as MSG. By performing a series of specific inputs, missions can be stored and loaded at parts of the game they're not supposed to be. DSS was able to warp to the credits using this trick. This marked a change in the 06 speedrun, and a separation of speedrun categories took place. Sonic's Story Any Percent was created for the credits warp method of beating the game. The category for the full speedrun was titled Sonic No Mission Select Glitch, which is the main focus of this progression. Who knew this game had glitches in it? 7 months after the showcase, DSS returned to Sonic's Story and achieved his first official world record in the category. Of course, new tricks were implemented. At the beginning of Wave Ocean, DSS executes one of the coolest skips in the entire speedrun. Instead of treading water to the island, DSS jumps early and destroys the rock to his left. Next, he jumps back into the loop and aligns himself on the edge. After tilting the camera, DSS presses the A button and pauses at the same time. When he unpauses and mashes the A button, Sonic flies at the speed of sound and skips nearly half of his section. DSS named this Wave Ocean skip and saved over half a minute. The building clip in Soleanna was already a neat trick, but DSS made it even better. By running to the right and hitting the teleporter for Dusty Desert, the game doesn't send Sonic to the level immediately. Instead, the game stores a command that Sonic has interacted with the teleporter. When DSS does the clip again and talks to the girl on the roof, the game sends him directly into Dusty Desert instead of Soleanna. This saves him from enduring another loading screen. He also discovered another out of bounds in Flame Core that saved a few seconds. But by far, the most intriguing part of the run was the Egg Wyvern fight. Backtracking to 2013, DSS was about to finish with a new personal best. He was very far ahead of his previous time, and he prepared himself for the Egg Wyvern strategy.
All I have to do is land the glitch, and if I do that, then I am done, people. Unless I do something stupid afterwards.
In a harrowing twist of events, DSS ends up a little too close to the edge. Instinctively, he threw another sky gem to save himself from falling off the platform.
Oh, the save! Whoa, whoa! Oh, whoa! New strat, hold up! Did you see that?
DSS's quick thinking accidentally led to a discovery of a faster way to finish the fight. He later learned how to execute the strategy and improved upon it further. Returning to his current run, this is what he does. At the 15-second mark, DSS throws the sky gem just before Eggman dips down and allows Sonic to grab the horn. When he returns to the platform, he runs off and throws the sky gem at the very edge. This action inexplicably shoots Sonic up into the air and the boss is cut short. From 49 seconds to 21 seconds, DSS found an even faster Egg Wyvern strategy. This propelled him way above Haruki's times, and he was more than satisfied with that accomplishment. Shortly after he achieved his goal, it was submitted onto the newly founded Speedrun.com. From here, the run was taken much more seriously, and the speedrun community started to take shape. At the center of this new community was DSS, as he'd been tearing the game apart for years. But there was also a new runner taking the spotlight, the person who helped craft the Sonic 06 leaderboards. His name is Triple Agent. Triple was the next person to truly take Sonic 06 seriously. He began his journey in late 2014 when he and other runners created the 06 Skype group, which included his friend Brensecure, who inspired him to join. In the middle of March 2015, Triple started up a rivalry between him and another runner, FocusSight. Focus started submitting times to the Sonic Center in 2013 and was one of the youngest runners at just 12 years old. Unfortunately, it was revealed that Focus was submitting fake times to the leaderboard, which got him banned from the website. Focus did his best to regain the trust of the community, and over time, he was slowly let back in. By 2015, he regained his status as a trustworthy member of the community. Triple and Focus traded individual level records back and forth, but those weren't the only runs Triple was interested in. He worked his way up the full game leaderboard in a flash, and now he was about to speed to the top. On March 16th, Triple was on his 187th attempt. He executed all of the tricks with grace and got fast segments on almost every level. Despite the high stakes, he made an effort to interact with his viewers about the run as he played.
Holy shit, 255. Holy shit. Maddening Jules, welcome to the stream. Right now I'm on the best pace by far that I've ever had, ever.
Everything was looking bright, and he even got his fastest completion of Radical Train. 21 seconds ahead of world record pace, Triple entered Tropical Jungle. That's when the game decided to remind him that he was playing Sonic 06.
No, it happened to me. Damn it.
Sometimes the game completely loses its marbles, which causes many unfair deaths. Now 12 seconds behind, Triple kept his head on straight and continued the run. With the Sky Gem in hand, Triple entered Aquatic Base. He used the gems to their fullest potential, only suffering a few bonks because of enemies. Little did he know that he was back on record pace.
Yo, it's possible. It's possible.
The Egg Wyvern fight was the only thing standing in his way of beating DSS. The well-renowned Sonic legend was about to be beaten. Triple just needed to close it out.
Is that it? Oh my god! That's it! Holy shit! Guys, that's world record!
It wasn't by much, but the end time wasn't the main focus here. Triple beat the master himself, and congratulations poured in from his friends and supporters. Together, they helped encourage him all the way through.
He can't do it. He can't do it. I don't believe in you. Wow. Lol, Darren. Thanks, bruh.
For the most part. This was a huge accomplishment, but Triple wasn't done. In fact, he was just getting started. In the following days, Triple lowered the record 2 more times. He almost got the first 1 hour flat time, but unfortunately missed the barrier by a few seconds because of Egg Wyvern, a cruel early April Fool's joke. Despite this, he was happy for now and focused on lowering his time in Shadow's story for the next couple months. Triple began to make a name for himself. If DSS was the first to mold 06 into the speedrun we know now, Triple was going to take everything to the next level. One thing that someone must always be prepared for is the unexpected. Unbeknownst to Triple, the unexpected was about to happen because DSS wasn't through with the game just yet.
Watch this.
Give me those! And he nails it!
DSS just wouldn't quit. This run broke through the 101 barrier and smashed his previous time. DSS applied a few door clips to skip previously required areas. He used the bounce gem to get on top of Egg Genesis faster and timed his hits with the missiles so that he wouldn't be launched away. He used the sky and purple gem in aquatic base to clip out of bounds and skip another large portion of the level. From there, he finished Egg Wyvern, all the while Triple watched his record get reclaimed by the fabled Sonic legend. Not only did he have the Sonic story record, but he nearly had a world record sweep in all main stories of the game. With the exception of Shadow's story, DSS took over Sonic 06 and he earned all of his recognition and accomplishments. Now, it was Triple's turn.
Hey, I heard you sell illegal copies of Toy Story the video game? And that you also sell batteries? Yes, well, you know, you really are my favorite battery seller. Now that's what I call business. Well, good luck committing battery!
Triple returned to Sonic's story, but he didn't just want to beat the record. In late 2015, he created speedrun tutorials for Sonic 06 to make the run more approachable to new players. Triple made sure to prioritize the growth of the community before everything else. At the same time, he was closing in on DSS. On January 12, 2016, Triple was on pace to get a new personal best. That was until Sonic 06 physics decided to turn against him.
What the hell? Don't die. Oh my god! You know what freaking that was? That was a frame-perfect moon jump. That is probably the saltiest you will ever see me get on stream. This game...
Resetting after losing a promising run always sucks, but it's even worse when it's lost on the very last level. Despite his hardships, Triple was the only runner with a chance to get ahead of DSS. It's only natural to suspect that a 59-minute time was inevitable, but that's easier said than done. As fascinating as the glitches are, they can also be a nuisance to pull off, but Triple didn't let this stop him. He returned to his stream and started more attempts. He began another run that fell behind thanks to Egg Cerberus. This is one of the only points in the run that relies on RNG, which in simple terms translates into luck. Unfortunately, Triple did not get good luck during the fight and suffered a death that cost 10 seconds. He attempted to counter this time loss with a new strategy during the snowboard section of White Acropolis found by a runner named Sharu. When holding and releasing the A button, Sonic will perform a big jump with his snowboard. On the edge of certain ramps, there is something called a jump trigger that sends Sonic forward if he jumps at the right time. On this ramp, Triple holds down the A button and releases it before the trigger. By timing the jump correctly, he skims the edge just before falling off, granting Sonic a ton of extra speed. This makes the board harder to control, but Triple handles it very well. Laserclip gave him a hard time sadly, setting him back another 4 seconds. Trying to get back on a good pace was a struggle. Still over 30 seconds behind after Egg Genesis, Triple continued to Tropical Jungle, the area that screwed him over before. This time he nailed everything perfectly and got his fastest run of the level ever, achieving a gold split. Then he got another gold split, and then another, and then another. Triple was on par with the world record going into aquatic base, and somehow he got yet another gold segment. But the most insane part was saved for last. There was one more discovery made for Egg Wyvern. First, there was the 49-second strategy, and then there was the 21-second strat. Those skips were already out of this world. How could a faster strategy possibly be found?
That's world record, boys. Yeah!
Yep, it's official, he's a wizard. What even happened here? Triple executed a faster version of the 21-second strategy found by Volcano the Bat. By immediately pulling out the Sky Gem and throwing it forward, Triple does a homing attack on the gem itself to gain more height, and then attacks Eggman's horn. When the Sky Gem forces him back, he throws the gem at the edge and ends the boss in 5 seconds. Don't blink or you'll miss it. This fight underwent a roller coaster of developments, and yet speedrunners had no idea why this happened. Later that year though, the explanation for the first Egg Wyvern strategy finally came out, and it was told by none other but the official YouTube channel for Sonic the Hedgehog.
So, what he just did is he triggered the boss to start flying forward. The boss is supposed to hit something and knock him back onto the platform and keep the fight going. Because Sonic is not on the proper part of the fight, the boss just keeps flying and flies so far that it flies outside of the boss fight range, gets its own data deleted, and then the game, upon realizing the boss data is no longer there, tells him that he's beaten the boss fight.
Additionally, a user named Gordon Ramsay, not you, spent many hours studying the fight. When Sonic grabs the horn, a command named Rodeo Sky is activated alongside the 21-second timer. Upon reaching the top of the arena, the command breaks and ends the boss prematurely. The reasoning behind this is still not fully understood, but that was okay. The skip worked, and that was good enough for everyone involved. Triple was officially 18 seconds away from breaking into the game's most sought-after barrier. 59 minutes looked more plausible than ever before, but Triple didn't get ahead of himself. Besides, he needed to focus because he had to prepare for a marathon. The first Sonic speedrun event in history was being held in February 2016, and fans of the franchise anticipated the event. This was the first time communities of each Sonic game could come together and share their hard work. Triple was selected as the runner for Sonic's story, and he got to work. After a month of grinding the game, Triple stepped up to the plate on February 28th and began the run in front of hundreds of people.
3, 2, 1, go.
Triple showed off all the amazing tricks the community found over the years. He performed everything with excellent precision, and he even showed off a new strategy in Crisis City.
Literally 2 days ago, DSS found this alternative speed cap glitch right here. Okay. And that saves 10 seconds as well, just like the wider process. And now you can see we go in hella fast.
Triple went above and beyond to show what the game had to offer while doing everything in his power to keep his nerves in check. Since this was during a marathon, Triple couldn't see the timer as the host was the one that was controlling it. This meant he couldn't judge how fast he was going, and subsequently, he didn't realize how far ahead he was. However, Tropical Jungle was coming up. This was Triple's biggest fear.
Alright, so the first death is coming up. Here's the vine. And here's the second spot. That spring sometimes doesn't work, so luckily it worked here.
Despite his worries, he sped through the level incredibly fast. In the Wave Ocean Revisit, Triple showed off Tails' flying ability and later crushed the trials before entering Kingdom Valley.
Now, coming up in this section, we're supposed to play as Silver, but we hate Silver, so we're gonna skip him. Second spin dash flip. Got above first time.
Just a few seconds off his best Kingdom Valley time ever, Triple hits the bells around Soleanna and buys the Sky Gem. It's time to enter Aquatic Base.
Optimally, you can get sub 240. I've only ever gotten it once, so. Alright, okay, cool. That means.
It was a beautiful sight. Triple exceeded his own expectations in front of everyone. Now, the final push.
Time. Paulie, what is it? Don't tell me I missed it. Don't tell me I missed it, man. I missed it, didn't I? I missed it. No way, are you serious? We got the sub 1 live, let's... Oh my god, you're kidding me! We did it! No way! Oh my god!
Crazy things always happen in speedrunning. Newly discovered tech, a new barrier being broken, these often transform the way a game is played. But to have a monumental achievement take place during a marathon in front of an audience of hundreds? That was nothing short of a miracle. Triple completed one of the most influential speedruns in the game's history. This was more than just a world record. This was the end of an era and the dawn of a new beginning.
Alright, I got some batteries, so now we can finally finish this game without anything tragic happening. What? Just hold on. Hold on.
We didn't save? Okay, I know it looks hopeless, but you have to keep trying. You were so close to the end.
I was still in the first boss.
Same difference. Look, this is the only way we can fix you. You can do this.
You're right. Look, this game may be a jumble of lost potential as a result of poor management and bad decisions. But this is the only way.
Let's go! You finally finished the most polished game of all time. Now you should be all back to normal.
Finally! At least I don't have to beat this game 3 times with 3 different characters.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
In the summer, Triple lowered the record a couple of more times. In late June, he had a good run going until the end when he misjudged his Sky Gem throw and died in Soleanna. He clutched the record by getting an extremely fast Egg Wyvern. In July, Tropical Jungle came to haunt him again and he was forced to restart the level. He did save time by not dying in Soleanna and barely snatched another record with a 59.32. Then, Triple stepped back from Sonic 06. With July coming to a close, his run remained on top for the rest of 2016. 2017 was a very quiet year for Sonic 06 speedrunning. Whether it was a gap in skill or a lack of interest, the game saw almost no world record activity. Almost. In February, DSS once again returned to the Sonic Story speedrun. Even though 2 years passed since his last record, he derusted his skills very quickly. On February 3rd, he started up another speedrun. He nailed the first skips beautifully. Wave Ocean skip, the Soleanna clip, Knuckles clip, and more were all a part of the run. Better yet, a new strategy was discovered by Volcano to speed up the Egg Genesis fight. One of the many strange quirks in 06 revolves around Sonic's spin kick. If he does this while standing on a box, for an example, it will shoot straight up and carry Sonic as high as he wants. In the arena, there's a rock present near the spawn point. By standing on it at the correct angle and tapping forward while performing a spin kick, the rock will fly and carry Sonic above the Egg Genesis. Now, he can damage the boss a lot sooner. DSS had a 20-second lead on Triple throughout the entirety of Kingdom Valley and was in the home stretch. Aquatic Base is largely considered the hardest level in the game, but DSS made it look like a piece of cake. Last and certainly not least, DSS finished the run with the boss that started his journey. the first 58-minute time in history. This was an incredible display of all the tricks the run had to offer, and everything was executed to near perfection. DSS achieved yet another legendary milestone in Sonic 06, but this time it would be his last. After a decade of making discoveries and breaking boundaries, this became DSS's last world record in Sonic story. He may have set the game down, but his activity continued to flourish among other games and player bases. His commitment left an impact only few could ever hope to achieve, and laid the groundwork necessary for the next era of runners to completely destroy Sonic 06. DSS's legacy lives on to this day among the hearts of the growing speedrun community. The following year, one of the community members set their eyes on Sonic's story. This is Sharu, one of the first Japanese speedrunners to join the community and the person who discovered the speed cap glitch in White Acropolis. He joined back in 2016, right around the time Triple dominated the category. In February 2018, Sharu was determined to get to the top. On the 11th of that month, Sharu announced in the Discord server that he lowered the record. Not only was his run extremely solid, but he implemented another loop launch in Dusty Desert. Similar to Wave Ocean, Volcano discovered that Sonic can get a buffered homing attack launch toward the next section. Depending on the execution of the trick, this saves about 2 seconds. Sharu picked up the pace a ton during the later part of the game. His movement was almost perfect, and of course, he nailed the final boss. Sharu beat DSS and got a mid 58-minute time in the process. Competition was becoming fierce, and before any previous record holders could challenge it, another player who joined years ago tried his hand at the speedrun. He was none other than Triple's former rival, FocusSight. Just a couple of months after Sharu, Focus decided to try his hand at the Sonic story record. On April 22nd, Focus got a really solid run. His Dusty Desert segment was pretty good, and Kingdom Valley went beautifully. His aquatic base was also executed super well. Even though it took a few tries, he defeated Egg Wyvern and ended with a time of 58:07. This was Focus's first record in Sonic story, and he was thrilled. He checked his capture card so that he could watch the video of the run he just performed, only to discover the recording malfunctioned.
Hold on tight.
This audio is the only proof of Focus's run. The video itself was lost. For a run to be verified onto most leaderboards on speedrun.com, the run must contain both audio and video evidence. Without both of those requirements, the moderators cannot verify it. This was supposed to be Focus's big break, but his moment was taken from him. Focus never attempted to get the record again for Sonic's story, but he continued to stay active in the community. The following month, a familiar face returned to the speedrun. After a 2-year hiatus, Triple still had what it took to get the record back. He did fall behind after the Wave Ocean revisit, but he was able to bring it back at the end. Oh, but he didn't stop there. He continued to play the game for months with the goal of fulfilling his dreams and taking the time down as low as possible. This was going to be the craziest summer for Sonic 06 yet, and Triple charged forward with his head held high.
Let's go, dude!
Really, congrats. That was amazing!
By late June, Triple already shaved off another minute. He knew the run could be pushed further though. Triple found an improvement on Volcano's Egg Genesis strategy. Before, you could only get 2 fast cycles on the boss because Sonic is out of rings after taking damage once. But by getting hit on the right spot after Genesis is at a quarter health, he can recollect the ring before it falls off the edge. This gives him the opportunity to get another fast hit. This is called Triple Cycle and saves over 15 seconds. His 57-16 had the potential to get close to or even surpass the next minute barrier. Some bad luck during the Genesis fight and a couple of other hiccups were the only things standing in his way. It almost seemed like the game was conscious of this. Triple kept trying to improve the run again and again, but he was met with crushing losses. When he finally got a new record, it was only an improvement by half a second. Sonic 06 was taunting him right in the face, but he persevered. Despite all of the heartbreaking runs, the close calls, and everything in between, he kept playing. On July 29th, Triple started his last session of attempts for the summer. On one particular run, he was behind his personal best, but did everything he could to recover time loss. He got the speed cap glitch in White Acropolis and Crisis City, and effortlessly executed Knuckles Clip in Flame Core. He had a chance to bring it back. In his record run, he messed up the Egg Genesis fight. If he got Triple Cycle successfully, the run might be saved.
Okay, first try rock launch. Yes, nice. Did not get RNG. All right. Nice, yes. All right, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Yes.
He regained the lead, and it continued to get better. He got farther and farther ahead as he progressed. He needed to get this run. When he got to Kingdom Valley, Triple played out of his mind. He was on just the right pace to get a 56-minute time, but he had only a few seconds of leeway. If he made one tiny mistake, the run was over. Triple entered the battle room in Aquatic Base and prepared himself for the out-of-bounds glitch. He nailed it. He sped past all the enemies blocking his path and completed the level. Triple was 17 seconds ahead, which meant he had one shot at Egg Wyvern. It was all coming down to the final few seconds.
I need to air something really quick. I just got the 56 in Sonic No MSP. That's a good time.
56-58. In a single year, 3 separate minute barriers were crushed. The community transformed Sonic 06 and pushed it farther than anyone else could have imagined, which says a lot for a game like this. After an action-packed summer, Triple completed his long-sought goal. Through his dedication and hard work, he honored the legacy of DSS and the others that came before him. He didn't just break the world record, he helped shape the community and took a pivotal role in introducing others to the game. He earned his place as one of the most influential Sonic speedrunners in history.
Yes! You did it for real this time!
I think this game's gonna hear from my lawyer.
It's a good thing we're so good at helping solve each other's crises.
You did literally nothing.
Well, now that we fixed your weird physics, why don't we try to learn how to speedrun this game? So is that,
No.
Another couple years into the future, and a lot has changed in the 06 community. The world record for Sonic's story still remained unchallenged by most, until a longtime member of the community decided to give the record a shot. This runner goes by the name of Nick867. Nick had his start in the community back during the glory days of 2016. He did many runs of individual levels, but didn't practice Sonic's story extensively until the summer of 2019. He lowered his time until October when he almost got a 56, but messed up the final boss. Nick was understandably disappointed and took a break. He didn't do any more speedruns until April 2020. This time, he didn't give up and he got a 56. A lot had changed in the speedrun. In Wave Ocean, Sharu discovered an alternative skip at the beginning that Nick uses to save 8 seconds. After positioning himself on a different spot, he launches forward and completely skips the cave section. This was given the name Cave Skip, however it's very inconsistent and Nick was one of the only players to implement it in runs. He executed a new strategy for the Iblis fight simply called Fast Iblis. Instead of hitting the purple rocks like normal, Nick collects some rings and stands on the starting platform. After 26 seconds, Iblis is prompted to leap towards Sonic. As Iblis is about to launch, Nick goes backwards into the lava. Nick charges up a spin dash and spin kicks the platform just as Iblis dives into it, damaging him early. He does this 2 more times until the last phase, saving around 10 seconds. These new strategies helped a lot. On May 30th, 2020, he finished with an extremely solid time of 56:29. Nick was clearly hyped after this run.
Whew, not world record, but damn, I'm only 5 seconds off with slow loads.
Wait. Not a world record? How is that possible? He beat Triple's time by nearly half a minute. Hold on a second. World record by Flubbler? A 56:24? Who the heck is Flubbler? Why are we even talking about Nick's run? Contrary to speedrunning, let's slow down for a second. Yes, the run in real time was much faster than Triple's record in 2018. However, as stated before, a lot has changed in the 06 community. Previously, runs were measured in the standard RTA time, which stands for real-time attack. Now, players were slowly switching to a new method of timing called LRT, loads removed time. Anybody who's familiar with 06 knows about the atrocious loading screens. Not only are they a pain to sit through, but loading times can differ in length depending on the state of the console. Nick says something interesting after his run.
This is a good run with slow loads.
Nick mentions slow loading times, which can affect a speedrun a lot. Fast loading screens usually occur after the game has been on for an extended period of time. This is because of how the Xbox stores and loads games. When a game is installed through a disc, it's loaded into the hard drive. The hard drive itself has different sectors that are responsible for loading a level, which vary in time. After running the game for an extensive period, the hard drive can start to load from sectors that don't take as long, thus making the loading screens faster. Slow and fast loads can differ by a second at a time, but over the course of a speedrun, fast loads can save over a minute. In the supposed world record, the run had fast loading screens, which gave him a huge advantage over Nick. Excluding the loading times, Flub's run was actually slower than Nick's. Eventually, Triple's and Nick's run were both retimed using the LRT method. In most games that use LRT and RTA, the times are usually a few minutes apart at most. When the moderators began to retime Triple's record, this was the result. Loadless shortened the overall time by 18 minutes. Yeah, there are a lot of loading screens. Interestingly, Triple's run also had slow loads, and despite that, he still broke through the 57 real-time barrier. Now that the community was making the switch to LRT, the run was now in the 38-minute margin. Comparing Nick's loadless time to Triple's time, Nick's was 21 seconds faster, which meant he officially claimed the record. RTA continues to be used in runs, but the official times on the leaderboard will be retimed to LRT. A few weeks later, Nick achieved another record and it seemed like it was pretty far ahead of his previous time. But when retimed without loads, his record was only a single second faster than his personal best. The problem with fast loads is it gives the illusion that a run is faster than it actually is. Nick was aware that he could get a better time, and he promised that there will be a new record soon. Just a month later, there was indeed a new record, but it wasn't by him. In February of that year, a new runner named Flubbler joined the Sonic 06 speedrun community. At just 15 years old, he already attained quite the speedrunning resume. He was involved in the Mario Kart Wii community when he was 12, setting top times in a few categories. He jumped from game to game, and then in early 2020, he attended his first Games Done Quick event. The run he watched was the Sonic 06 Silver Story speedrun performed by FocusSight. Alongside him were Triple, DSS, and other members of the community. This is what motivated Flub to run the game for the first time. After encouragement from a friend, Flub joined the Discord server in February and achieved a Sonic Story RTA time of under an hour in just a month. 2 weeks later, he skipped from a 59 to a 57-minute time. Then on May 27th, Flub claimed a 56:24, achieving a new record, at least in RTA. Later, when the load times were removed, it was revealed that his in-game time was slower than Triple's. Nick proceeded to get his 56:29 a few days later and was found to be the actual world record. But Flub wasn't done yet. He still had his sights set on breaking through another RTA barrier, the 55-minute milestone. He wanted to realize the game's potential for himself and for the community, so he kept playing. He committed to thousands of attempts, and finally on July 20th, 2020, Flubbler broke through. The final time of the run was 55:56, the first sub-56-minute time. But the real question is, was it still the record after being retimed? The moderators eliminated the load times during the speedrun, and this was the result. It was a true world record. At the age of 15, Flub became the youngest record holder in the history of 06 speedrunning. From the beginning of his journey, Flub always had a ton of speedrun talent and dedication to his craft. He showed that as long as you believe in yourself and put in the work, anybody can achieve their goals. In the midst of Flub's first record in the category, Nick returned and focused all of his energy into Sonic's story. In Kingdom Valley, Volcano discovered the first major skip involving the green gem. This gem freezes Sonic and turns him into a tornado, destroying any enemy in his path. In the middle of the level, there's a section where the player gets launched high into the air before coming across a few wall jumps. This wall jump trigger turned out to be in the perfect spot for a new skip. By doing a precise homing attack onto this eagle next to the spring, Sonic can jump off and use the green gem in mid-air to knock down the tower. If he jumps off the falling structure correctly, he can hit the invisible wall jump trigger and skip the roof section. This saves 8 seconds, but is absurdly difficult to pull off at the end of a run. What was so special about Nick was his ability to steal the competition. He ran Shadow Story, Silver Story, and a ton of other categories, and consistently achieved solid times in all of them. With his world record in Sonic Story being broken, he wasted no time getting back on the grind. He performed quite possibly the craziest runs the game has ever seen. With the members by his side, Nick honored the community and put everyone's hard work on full display for everyone to see.
Come on.
54-58.
Yeah!
Let's fucking go!
Let's go!
Oh my god. I am being a stupid degen and going for final hit in this run. I'm gonna miss it, but...
No!
Final Hit, a strategy found by DSS 2 years prior using the anti-grav ability. It saves about 8 seconds, but missing it kills the run. Was Nick going to make it?
I got it!
Oh, Nick, is this like potentially a world record pace run?
Well, I mean, this could loadless record.
Nick, in the span of less than a year, dominated the speedrun. He achieved the first 36-minute LRT, putting himself way ahead of Flubbler's new personal best. On top of that, he also had fast loads throughout the run, which earned him the RTA record. His time was nearly perfect. Almost all the tricks were performed flawlessly, and his movement was on another level. This was it. The game had peaked, and so Nick stopped doing runs for Sonic Story. Despite the 1-minute gap between him and Nick, Flub still attempted to get the record. He kept doing runs, occasionally lowering his time, but no speedrun could match Nick's insane consistency. As the years ticked by, Flub kept getting in hundreds of attempts, seemingly getting no closer to Nick. There were small optimizations found in the run, such as a faster silver manipulation strategy, but it wasn't quite enough. Just when everything seemed hopeless, a new skip was found.
Oh my god, that might be it. Is that record?
Alright, and then here's silver. This was like really stuffed. That last hit was terrifying, man. Oh man. My heart is beating so fast.
26, 27, 20. I'm gonna trust this because this number seems right. Yeah, this number seems right.
Oh my gosh, we're getting so close! We're getting so close! Oh my gosh.
36. 37.833.
Yo! Let's go! Yeah!
Oh my god, I did it! This is like a long time coming for me. I accomplished what Nick did all those years ago. It's over.